Everybody on YouTube either knows every detail of this drama or they're avoiding it like it's the most contagious disease walking God's green earth. You know, we're talking about Creator Clash 3. This time, the drama is not just about losing 250 grand and not giving any money to charity. Somehow, this time, it's much worse. If you want to watch Creator Clash 3, you better go into it with strong opinions on Child Protective Services, poop-borne illnesses, centuries-old political conflicts, and of course, the Ethan Klein, Hassan Piker beef. And buddy boy, you better be prepared to pick a side. Creator Clash 3 is an entire event where the former organizers are making the whole Palestine-Israel conflict about them. And in the process, they're gaslighting the audience on what's clearly going on in broad daylight right in front of our eyes. Creator Clash 3 is not the charity event it claims to be. Creator Clash has always been a scam, and everybody is starting to wake up to that fact. I'm just using the word scam as hyperbole in this video, just to be clear. But they seem to be lying, covering up their tracks, and like going back and forth and being very shady about the whole thing. So I think scam is just a great overall umbrella term to cast over an event such as Creator Clash 3. I'm gonna go through this dumb drama, but be warned, I'm pretty pissed off about the whole thing. Apathy is dead, and today I'm gonna crash the fuck out for a couple minutes of ad revenue, if that's okay. Those strong feelings I spoke about earlier, I have them and I'm gonna spew them. This is just all from memory, jotted down bullet point style, so feel free to nitpick any of the details down there in the comment section below. Likes and subs, let's go. Where do I even start with a fucking nightmare of a shit show like Creator Clash 3? Like, how the hell do we even get to this point? Well, if we're gonna start, we might as well start from the start. That's how stories work. Now for this story, we're gonna have to go back to the year 2015. We'll speed up, but this is basically like a 10-year-old drama that you need to know every little part of if you even want to engage with Creator Clash at all. So go back to like 2015, 2016 era or whatever. You got this channel called H3H3 Productions. It's run by this fella named Ethan Klein, and it's pretty funny. It's just comedy-based skits or whatever. He got pretty famous for his whole Vape Nation skit that he got. You know, Vape Nation. And he'd have the big vape thing and he'd go around making these big clouds. This is the era that we're talking about. They got famous during that time where everybody was blowing those big O's. Remember that? Remember when vaping was just sweeping the nation? Well, Ethan Klein was fully taking advantage of that. On another channel, there was a channel called iDubbbz run by this guy named Ian. We'll get into his content in a little bit, but Ethan and Ian would do these collaborations, some pretty funny collaborations at the time. On Ethan's channel, they did a whole Logan Paul mockery video about the whole colorblind glasses thing. Pretty good little video. And then on Ian's channel, they did like a whole Jerry Seinfeld comedians in cars ripoff thing, where it was like YouTubers on longboards going to eat banana splits or something. I have no idea. I forget, man. It was a long ass time ago. And like I said, I just jotted this down bullet point style. But either way, those videos were really good, really funny, and demonstrated a friendship between these guys, Ethan and Ian. There was kind of like a charisma, a chemistry there that was palpable, so much so that they made millions and millions and millions of fans and millions and millions and millions of dollars. Now let's shift back to Ian's channel called iDubbbz, one of the series on that channel that got him prominence. I know you know it, it's Content Cop. But this guy was just out there saying N slur, F slur all the time and just getting away with it in his little Content Cops. But these Content Cops were pretty good little videos because they criticized people that needed to be criticized, and they did it in a very 2016 edgy internet way. And in the spirit of those collaborations, Ethan now has a podcast. So naturally, one of his first guests is gonna be Ian. He brings in iDubbbz himself, and they have a little tete-a-tete on the podcast where Ethan now feels emboldened to let those N slur, F slurs go just willy-nilly. And to be honest, it's a very shocking clip, a very shocking conversation to be privy to out there in broad daylight on the internet. And they've both since apologized for the whole thing. Not a good look. Fast forward a couple years, iDubbbz falls out of favor with the audience. He's starting to kind of turn into a whole different person, and people are starting to blame it on his girlfriend, future wife, fiance, whatever, Anissa. And it would all get 10 times worse when iDubbbz made the whole "my wife is a sex worker and I like it" video. Everybody turned on him in that moment. And then the memes just kept going and going and going. He stopped making Content Cop. He kind of like lost all relevancy there for a bit, and he was just holding on to Anissa. Come on, Anissa, you gotta keep me relevant. And maybe I'm not being totally fair, because iDubbbz did do some cool stuff in his whole like period post Content Cop. Those little documentaries that he did with Airsoft Fatty, Dax Flame, and Sam Hyde, those were good pieces of business. But the Sam Hyde one must have put a really sour taste in his mouth, because Sam Hyde kind of flipped the script on iDubbbz mid-documentary, and it's kind of a train wreck and not so much an entertaining one, and I think one that iDubbbz feels very embarrassed about, because iDubbbz went out there to kind of punk Sam Hyde, to kind of like expose Sam Hyde, but Sam Hyde saw it coming from a mile away and just played Ian like a total fool. I'm not gonna get into all of that drama, but now we're dealing with an insecure shell of a former human being. Ian is not the guy he once was. He's been broken by Anissa. He's been broken by the audience. He's been embarrassed and broken by Sam Hyde, and he's just laying out on the internet for everybody to pick at his carcass. And guess what? Everybody was picking at his carcass. So now Ian is like, I gotta stay relevant. I gotta stay in the spotlight. How am I gonna do it? Oh my God. People are doing boxing nowadays. You got KSI out there boxing. You got Logan and Jake Paul. Hey, they're all boxing. I'm gonna try the boxing thing, iDubbbz says. So he goes through his little Rolodex of former enemies and picks out one, and it says Rice Gum. So he's like, guess what, Rice Gum? I wanna fight ya. So he got laser eye surgery on his eyes to ditch the glasses. He started working out. He started promoting this event. He got the arena. He got the talent. He got it all lined up from a production standpoint, and it was ready to go, and he was gonna call it Creator Clash. But Rice Gum didn't want to fight, so Rice Gum kind of backed out, but Ian did all this work. He got the eyes, he's got the arena, he's got the whole production set up. I might as well do Creator Clash 1. But I don't want to encroach on the whole boxing thing that's happening right now. I don't want to tell them I'm here to compete with them in business. I want to do this for charity, which is great on the surface, I guess. I like charity. I like helping people out. You know, that's all wonderful. So they did that. All with the assumption all the money raised was going to charity. And it was a smashing success. It was a lot of fun. People loved the event. People thought it was very entertaining, and it was sort of treated the way that they wanted it to be treated. Kind of like the new version of VidCon, where people would fly in, fans of the creators would fly in, the creators would come in, and it would just be a much more interactive VidCon, a better version of it, an elevated VidCon. And I'm here for that kind of thing. Yes, give me that. And I remember all the videos that the creators made the day after. People were really riding this high. Everyone was going live. Everyone was posting videos about how sick of an event it was. A smashing success, so much so that they did it 2 years in a row. The second year, they're like, we're gonna make this bigger. We're gonna make this badder. We're gonna make this everything that everybody had envisioned in their mind. This is gonna be the event to end all boxing events. Creator Clash 2 now is gonna be held in a much bigger venue. Hooray! Success! Arenas! The event itself was entertaining enough, but it lost $250,000 and $0 went to charity. A big, fat fucking goose egg is what iDubbbz gave, I don't know, cancer patients? And then all these creators were like, what? I did all of this. I took all this time off to train because I thought that my efforts were going towards charity. Meanwhile, they didn't go towards charity. What did Ian and Anissa decide to do with the money that they raised? have what they called trauma parties, because the year before, they really wished that they could have connected with people afterwards and just spoke about it. So this year, in order to do that, they needed to throw lavish galas. Well, guess how they did it all last year? Guess how all this trauma bonding happened? Through fucking content, you stupid idiot! They're content creators! They're gonna go out there and make fucking videos about it! And now you wanna have fucking trauma parties about it? That is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my entire life! No more galas! Just get all the creators that have millions and millions and millions of fucking subs to go out there and make content about the fucking event! You don't need to... Okay, alright. I'm legitimately crashing out right now, and I'm gonna have to dial it back, because this is what literally pisses me off about the entire thing. You're like, we're gonna take all this money, we're gonna raise as much fucking money as possible for cancer patients, for Alzheimer, for, like, burn victims, I don't fucking know, whatever goddamn charity is out there. Now all these creators spend all this time training for something that is very physical just to get punched in the face for charity, and no money is going towards charity. Goddamn, I'm getting so heated. I can't believe they had the audacity to try to do this a third time. You know what you don't say after something like this? Let's run it back. That is just something that you don't let cross your mind. Let's run it back. Absolutely fucking insane. So 1 year goes by. Creator Clash 1, Creator Clash 2, then a gap year. And everybody's thinking, great, these guys are smart. They're not gonna do a third year. It's stupid. Why would they? It's ridiculous to do a third fucking year. Are you kidding me? $250,000, trauma parties, charity's not getting a goddamn cent other than a big fucking goose egg. A year goes by and they announce Creator Clash 3. Remember that Ethan guy we're talking about? He starts a show where he talks about politics on his channel with the biggest left-wing creator in the world, Hassan Piker. I'm not going to get into every little bit about this drama. Just know it's very well documented. But the big story beat from this drama is the content nuke. We have to discuss the content nuke. That show that Ethan and Hassan had was called Leftovers. It imploded when discussions surrounding Palestine-Israel started to dominate the headline. These two dudes had some debates or whatever, but they quickly became enemies. So much so that Ethan was like, I gotta make an entire video on Hassan. So he makes an expose video and calls it Content Nuke. Hassan Piker. To be honest, it's kind of cool to see Ethan back doing this kind of video, but he's kind of part of the reason why this has gotten so toxic and so bad, and I can't be like, well, Ethan's actually kind of cool in this situation, because he's actually sort of to blame in a way. Like, everybody in this drama is to blame. There's no side to choose, and you're expected to choose a side when everybody involved has failed from the top down. So anyway, the content nuke comes out. Hassan does not react to it. Hassan does not make any content out of it. Instead, he gets iDubbbz to be a nice little whipping boy and to make a content cop. A content cop, however, is something that iDubbbz apologized for. He's like, I never want to make this kind of damaging content ever again. It's so bad to be this kind of person on the internet. I'll never do it. Well, unless Hassan Piker asks me to. So iDubbbz teases that content cop is coming out. Okay, now the internet is going back and forth. Who's it going to be about? Who's Content Cop going to be about? There's so many people out there on the internet who he could be making a Content Cop about. One of the names that was rumored was Ethan Klein. But Ethan Klein didn't believe it was going to be on Ethan Klein. He was like, no, why would it be me? So a couple days after the teaser, the day that it's supposed to go live, this whole Content Cop thing, Ethan is live on his channel, as he does, and that is the moment Ian decides to launch his attack of releasing his Content Cop, and yes, by George, it's about Ethan Klein. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention. One of the guys that works on Ethan's podcast, his name is AB. He fought in the Creator Clashes. This time, AB's wife, who also works on the H3 podcast, Lena, was gonna fight at Creator Clash 3. So when Ian decides to drop this Content Cop while Ethan is live, while Lena is in the building beside Ethan, of course, Lena has a panic attack and has to run away. How are you gonna handle that? You feel lied to, you feel backstabbed. And Lena afterwards would of course have to drop from the whole event. So this is where the whole Israel-Palestine thing enters into the conversation. It's because the Ethan Klein, Hassan Piker drama surrounds that drama. Yes, I just called a centuries-old political conflict a drama. That is what this has been boiled down to. This is why it's bad. Because content creators are making something that is much bigger than them, something that they don't even really have all the pieces for, when really it's just an interpersonal thing. But it's too late now. You need to have an opinion on these guys and that conflict. And because Ethan and Hassan are so big on the internet and their drama is so fierce, their fan bases are going absolutely crazy, so much so that they're just making stuff up back and forth. I don't want to have to talk about Denims or Frogan right now, but you kind of have to a little bit. Denims and Frogan are what you call orbiters of Hassan. They're smaller content creators that just like leech off of Hassan's audience. They're kind of like waiting rooms or post shows, you know? And they'll never be anything more than a waiting room or a post show. But Denims was live doing her thing, and she was watching a video by this guy known as Bad Empanada. Now, you don't need to care about this Bad Empanada guy. He's just some guy in Argentina that just says whatever the hell is in his mind because he knows there's going to be no legal ramifications for it. Anyway, he started saying that Ethan Klein's kids are crawling around eating shit and has giardia. Whatever the hell giardia is. Now everybody needs to have an opinion about giardia. Denims is live watching this video. Bad Empanada saying all this wild crap, and Denims chat erupts with CPS, CPS, call CPS, CPS, Child Protective Services. Denims does nothing to quell that. Denims does nothing to stop that. In fact, it happens. Someone calls CPS. CPS shows up at Ethan Klein's house, a very clean, immaculate millionaire mansion, I might add. They learn that the dogs have a doggy door to go in and outside all the time. There's no shit everywhere. Nobody's giardia sick. The kid has an immune system that is developing and got sick earlier, sure, but it's not because he's just feeding fecal matter down his goddamn throat. So you want to watch some creators have a cute little charity fight? Well, now you need to know about giardia, you need to know about Bad Empanada, you need to know about Denims, you need to know about Israel, you need to know about Palestine, you need to know about Ethan and Hassan and iDubbbz and Content Nuke and Content Cop. Oh my god, it's so much fucking stuff to just put in your brain, and it's all negative. None of it is good. It's all bad press. And not only do you need to know about all this stuff, all this highly controversial, super polarizing stuff, you need to have an absolute stance on it. You need to go in as a warrior for these people. And why would you choose to be a warrior for Ethan Klein? Why would you choose to go to bat for Hassan Piker? They're internet personalities. They're just something you turn on while you're in the bathroom or waiting to go to work or on your break or something. But nah, now it's all drama. So much so that now all the fucking fighters are dropping off like flies and have no idea what's even going on with this event. The guy that was going to headline this thing was going to be Harley from Epic Mealtime, and he was going to go up against LABeast. Both guys have dropped from the card. Harley's done interviews with Nicholas DiOrio and a bunch of interviews with Ethan Klein, and they're very illuminating interviews. I really wish LABeast would get into the interview circuit though. I want to hear what LABeast has to say about it. So if you're watching this, LABeast, come on to my channel. We can scream back and forth. You like this energy you see over here? Oh, and you think that this huge mound of drama I just showed you is where it ends, right? Nuh-uh. It gets worse, it gets even crazier, and even more stuff happens that make you go, this is a scam, right? Like, what you're doing is like lying, being deceitful, a lot of shady practices going on here. I want to call it a scam because all the pieces are there to call it a scam. The only reason why I can't officially call it a scam, and I have to call it hyperbole, is because the event actually does happen. But why my inclination is to call it a scam is because they're saying that proceeds from the ticket sales and proceeds from the pay-per-view are gonna go towards charity when that is just not the case. Because now Ian and Anissa have stepped back. And by stepped back, I mean stepped away. They're no longer a part of Creator Clash 3, I guess. Instead, they handed the reins over to Alana and these other two schmucks who I don't remember their names. But anyway, they're trying to be a little bit more transparent about it. And in their efforts of being transparent, they're showing that it's a scam because they're like, we're taking the 34% profit that was going towards Ian and Anissa and we're going to take it and redistribute it to the fighters. And then we're like, wait, 34%? What? Does that mean they walked away with millions of dollars and it was branded as a charity event and it was marketed as a charity event and I took time off of making my regular content to go train to get punched in the face for charity? 34%, millions of dollars? Are you telling me that they lied about the whole thing? So that's why I'm saying it's not really a scam because the event does happen and some money does go to charity, you know? But there's enough elements about it that are shady enough to call it a scam. People are making decisions using information of deceit. And now apparently the whole thing is set up where none of the money goes towards charity through the tickets and through the pay-per-view. It's a separate link. It's a Tiltify. It's just basically a GoFundMe and anybody could do that. Anybody could set that up. Oh, you're such a fucking philanthropist for setting up a goddamn fundraising account on the internet. Takes what, 25 minutes to do that? With a month before the show and only a couple dozen tickets sold, the event's now in new hands. What are they gonna do? They're gonna move states from Florida to California. They're gonna book a smaller venue. They're gonna postpone it till October. So everybody that bought tickets to go to Florida, everybody that bought tickets to go to that event, well, screw you, I guess. Oh, did you make hotel accommodations? That's sad. Shouldn't have done that, huh? So the way that it's set up, it does not feel like it is a charity event to me. It doesn't feel like it should be branded as one, marketed as one, or anything. It should be like the fighters get an opportunity to shout out a charity of their choosing and then kind of do what, like, I don't know, Family Feud does or fucking Celebrity Jeopardy, where the money raised by the person or the money won by the person, that money doesn't go to them, it goes to a charity of their choice. There's so many ways to do this that aren't shady. It's supposed to be charity. But anyway, that's where the Creator Clash 3 thing is now. I gotta get back to my main channel because I'm working on a video where I'm a little bit more measured, okay? So go over to that channel and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Okay, bye.